The Ptolemaic Kingdom, a vibrant thread in ancient history, shimmered with Greek intellect and Egyptian tradition. For 3 centuries, it stood as a beacon of power in the Mediterranean. It began with Alexander the Great, whose conquests forged new destinies. His arrival in Egypt in 332 BC was seen as liberation, and he was crowned pharaoh. This planted the seeds of a new kingdom. After Alexander's death, his empire fell into chaos. Ptolemy, a trusted commander, secured Egypt, establishing a dynasty that would last nearly 300 years. The Ptolemaic Kingdom was born. Ptolemy the Soter established his capital in Alexandria, declaring himself pharaoh. His reign began a remarkable chapter where Greek rulers navigated an ancient land, shaping a unique Greco-Egyptian identity. The Ptolemaic dynasty represented a fascinating and unprecedented cultural experiment. Here, 2 powerful civilizations, those of Greece and Egypt, were brought into direct and continuous contact. The new Greek rulers did not simply impose their own ways upon the land they now controlled. Instead, they engaged in a careful and strategic process of adaptation and synthesis. They understood that to rule Egypt effectively, they needed the support of its people and its powerful priesthood. This led to a remarkable blending of traditions, creating a society that was Hellenistic in its administration and intellectual pursuits, yet profoundly Egyptian in its spiritual and ceremonial life. This fusion was visible everywhere, from the royal court to the smallest farming village. The Ptolemaic pharaohs, including the famous Cleopatra VII, presented themselves in a dual manner. To their Greek-speaking administrators and soldiers, they were Hellenistic monarchs, patrons of art and science. Yet on the walls of the grand temples they constructed, they were depicted in the traditional style of the pharaohs, making offerings to ancient Egyptian gods like Horus, Isis, and Osiris. This duality was the cornerstone of their political strategy, allowing them to maintain authority over a diverse population and project an image of continuity with Egypt's glorious past. Alexandria, the kingdom's magnificent capital, became the ultimate symbol of this new world. It was a cosmopolitan metropolis, home to Greeks, Egyptians, Jews, and people from across the Mediterranean. Its legendary Great Library and Museum turned the city into the intellectual epicenter of the ancient world. Scholars, scientists, philosophers, and poets flocked to its institutions, making groundbreaking discoveries in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The city itself was a masterpiece of Greek urban planning, with wide streets and grand public buildings, yet its heart beat to the rhythm of the Nile, its wealth drawn from the ancient agricultural bounty of the Egyptian countryside. The story of the Ptolemaic Kingdom is therefore not just a tale of kings and conquests, but a deeper exploration of cultural interaction. It is the story of how a foreign dynasty successfully integrated into one of the world's oldest civilizations, creating something entirely new in the process. We will journey through its rise to immense power, witness the flourishing of its unique culture, and explore the internal conflicts and external pressures that ultimately led to its dramatic downfall. This is the chronicle of the last pharaohs of Egypt, a dynasty of Greek origin that wrote the final, brilliant chapter of a 3,000-year-old saga before yielding to the rising power of Rome. Alexander the Great's death in 323 BC triggered shockwaves across his empire. The world held its breath. The king was gone, leaving a power vacuum. He had no clear heir. His generals, the Diadochi, carved up the world. Decades of conflict, the wars of the successors, replaced unity. Each general saw himself as the rightful heir. Ptolemy set his sights on Egypt. He knew Egypt was secure and prosperous. It was a land that could sustain itself. Ptolemy moved swiftly to consolidate his control. Ptolemy was determined to thrive, establishing a lasting kingdom. Ptolemy's first and most audacious act was the hijacking of Alexander the Great's funeral cortege. The body of the deified conqueror was being transported back to Macedon for burial, a procession of immense symbolic importance. Perdiccas, the imperial regent, intended to use the burial to legitimize his own authority. However, Ptolemy intercepted the procession in Syria and diverted it to Egypt. This was an act of breathtaking defiance. By bringing Alexander's body to Memphis, and later to a magnificent tomb in Alexandria, Ptolemy was making a powerful statement. He was positioning himself as the true successor, the guardian of Alexander's legacy, and linking his own destiny directly to that of the celebrated hero. This bold move was a direct challenge to Perdiccas and the central authority of the empire, inevitably leading to war. In 321 BC, Perdiccas marched his grand imperial army to the borders of Egypt, determined to crush the defiant satrap. The ensuing conflict was a critical test for Ptolemy. He faced a numerically superior force led by the empire's most powerful man. Yet Ptolemy's strategic genius and the natural defences of the Nile proved decisive. He successfully repelled Perdiccas' attempts to cross the river, inflicting heavy casualties on the invading army. The failure was a humiliation for Perdiccas, whose own troops, demoralized and resentful, assassinated him in his tent. The defeat and death of Perdiccas dramatically altered the political landscape. Ptolemy's victory not only secured his hold on Egypt, but also elevated his status among the other Diadochi. He was no longer just a clever opportunist, he was a proven military commander who had successfully defended his realm against the full might of the empire. He prudently declined the offer to become the new regent, preferring to consolidate his power base in Egypt rather than get entangled in the chaotic politics of the wider empire. This decision showcased his remarkable foresight, a quality that would serve him well in the turbulent decades that followed. Over the next 20 years, Ptolemy continued to navigate the treacherous waters of the successor wars. He engaged in conflicts across the eastern Mediterranean, fighting to secure buffer zones for Egypt in Cyrene, Cyprus, and the Levant. He fought against the formidable Antigonus the One-Eyed, who sought to reunite Alexander's empire under his own rule. Though he suffered occasional setbacks, Ptolemy's primary focus never wavered from his Egyptian stronghold. Each campaign was carefully calculated to protect his core territory and enhance its wealth and security. He was patiently laying the groundwork for a kingdom that would endure for generations to come. By 305 BC, Alexander's unified empire was dead. The most powerful Diadochi, including Ptolemy, declared themselves kings. Ptolemy I became king of Egypt, adopting the title Basileus and the traditional title of Pharaoh. His reign marked the beginning of the Ptolemaic Dynasty. Ptolemy defended Rhodes against Demetrius, earning the title Soter, meaning saviour. Ptolemy's rule was characterized by effective administration and a highly centralized bureaucracy. In 285 BC, Ptolemy abdicated, making his son co-regent. He left behind a stable and powerful kingdom. Ptolemy transformed Alexandria into the glittering capital of his kingdom. He founded the Great Library and the Museum, intellectual hubs of the Mediterranean world. The library aimed to collect all the world's knowledge, attracting scholars, scientists, and philosophers. Ptolemy understood that power was about cultural prestige, positioning his kingdom at the forefront of Hellenistic civilization. Ptolemy initiated religious syncretism, promoting the cult of Serapis, a deity for both Greeks and Egyptians. This blending of traditions created a shared cultural framework for their diverse kingdom. Ptolemy I Soter's groundwork came to fruition under his son, Ptolemy II Philadelphus, who ascended to the throne in 283 BC. His reign ushered in the golden age of the Ptolemaic Kingdom, peace, prosperity, and cultural brilliance. Philadelphus was a master diplomat, shrewd administrator, and patron of the arts and sciences. He elevated Ptolemaic Egypt to the apex of its power and influence. He married his sister, Arsinoe II, a practice imitating ancient Egyptian tradition to concentrate power within the royal family. Arsinoe was a formidable co-ruler who exerted considerable influence. Centralized control generated staggering revenues strategically deployed for public works like the Pharaohs lighthouse. Philadelphus maintained Egypt's dominance through military strength and diplomacy. solidifying its status as a superpower. The Ptolemaic Kingdom reached its greatest territorial extent during the reign of Ptolemy III, Euergetes. Euergetes launched the Third Syrian War to avenge his sister's murder. Ptolemy III led his army deep into enemy territory, reaching as far as Babylon. At its zenith, the Ptolemaic sphere of influence was immense, controlling Egypt, Libya, Cyprus, numerous Aegean islands and coastal regions in Turkey, Syria and Lebanon. This maritime empire was sustained by the most powerful navy in the Mediterranean. This political and military dominance was built upon an unparalleled economic foundation, with the agricultural wealth of the Nile Valley at its core. The Ptolemies managed grain production on an industrial scale. Egypt was the breadbasket of the Mediterranean during this golden age. Beyond agriculture, the Ptolemies fostered a vibrant and diverse economy, controlling trade routes for African elephants and luxury goods. Royal monopolies were established over key industries, ensuring that economic activity flowed into the state's coffers. This combination created a level of wealth that was the envy of the ancient world. The Ptolemaic rulers, particularly Philadelphus and Euergetes, were patrons of knowledge, earning them the title of scholar kings. Their most brilliant achievement was the continued expansion of the Great Library and Museum of Alexandria. These institutions were the heart of the Hellenistic intellectual world. The Ptolemies invested vast sums, viewing cultural supremacy as important as military might. They recruited brilliant minds, offering stipends and an environment for research. The library's collection grew to an astonishing size, with the mission to acquire a copy of every significant book ever written. Discoveries from the museum laid foundations for modern science. This flourishing was a direct consequence of the Ptolemies' vision. The Ptolemaic kings understood that by controlling knowledge they enhanced their power. Alexandria was the intellectual capital of the world. During its ascendant period, Alexandria became the quintessential Hellenistic city, a vibrant and cosmopolitan metropolis that was, quite frankly, a world unto itself. Its population swelled with people from every corner of the known world: Greeks who came as soldiers and administrators, Egyptians who flocked to the city for work, a large and influential Jewish community, and traders from Phoenicia, Syria, and beyond. This cultural melting pot created a dynamic and innovative urban environment. Greek was the language of government and high culture, but walking through the city's markets and alleyways, one would have heard a dozen different languages spoken. This diversity fueled an explosion of creativity in art, literature, and philosophy. The city's physical appearance was breathtaking, a testament to the wealth and ambition of its rulers. The Grand Canopic Way, the city's main thoroughfare, was lined with magnificent colonnades, temples, and gymnasia. At one end of the harbour stood the colossal Pharaohs lighthouse, its beacon visible for miles out at sea, a symbol of the city's welcome to the world. At the other end was the Royal Quarter, a vast complex of palaces, gardens, and administrative buildings overlooking the water. The city was a masterpiece of urban design, a planned city built to inspire awe and project an image of absolute power and limitless prosperity, the jewel in the Ptolemaic crown. Art and literature flourished in this stimulating environment. Alexandrian poetry, exemplified by figures like Callimachus and Theocritus, developed a new style. It was often learned, witty, and focused on individual emotion and everyday life, a departure from the grand epic traditions of classical Greece. Sculpture and other visual arts also developed a distinct style, blending the idealism of Greek art with a greater degree of realism and, in some cases, incorporating Egyptian motifs. This artistic output was not just for the elite. The city was filled with public art and entertainment, from theatrical performances to religious festivals, creating a rich cultural tapestry for all its inhabitants. This was the Ptolemaic Kingdom at its peak, powerful, wealthy, and intellectually supreme. From the military victories of Ptolemy III to the scholarly pursuits in the Great Library, the kingdom projected an aura of confidence and success. Alexandria stood as the ultimate symbol of this achievement, a city that was both the administrative center of a mighty empire and the cultural capital of the Hellenistic age. It was truly a golden era where the fusion of Greek ingenuity and Egyptian resources created one of the most brilliant civilizations of antiquity. Ptolemaic Egypt had a complex social structure defined by ethnicity and language. The king and Greek nobles were at the top, followed by officials and landowners. Below them were Greek settlers, soldiers, merchants and scholars. The majority were native Egyptians, farmers, labourers and artisans at the bottom. A divided legal system favoured Greeks, causing tension and revolts. Over time, a mixed population emerged through intermarriage and cultural exchange, blurring social lines. Identities transformed in Ptolemaic Egypt's unique cultural environment. Religion in Ptolemaic Egypt saw the fusion of the ancient Egyptian pantheon with Greek deities. The Ptolemaic rulers embraced Egyptian religion, supporting temples and presenting themselves as pharaohs. The god Serapis, combining Osiris, Apis, Bull, Zeus, Hades and Asclepius, was created to appeal to both Greeks and Egyptians. His main cult center was the Serapeum in Alexandria. Traditional Egyptian gods like Isis flourished, her worship spreading far beyond Egypt. The Ptolemies restored and expanded temples. Egyptians identified their gods with Greek counterparts, creating a shared religious vocabulary. This religious pluralism defined the era, creating a uniquely Greco-Egyptian spiritual world. The Ptolemaic dynasty left behind magnificent temples throughout Upper Egypt. Though Greek rulers, they acted as traditional Egyptian pharaohs, constructing and maintaining houses for the gods. The Ptolemies honoured local deities and employed thousands of Egyptians. This demonstrated their piety and commitment to ancient traditions. Built from sandstone, they followed the New Kingdom blueprint, featuring pylons and peristyle courts. Hypostyle halls led to the sanctuary housing the god's statue. Walls displayed reliefs and hieroglyphs depicting the king as pharaoh. The Temple of Horus at Edfu is the most complete surviving temple. It offers a glimpse into the period's architecture and rituals. Another jewel is the Temple of Isis on Philae. Dendera and Kom Ombo temples further showcase the dynasty's building. These temples reveal the Ptolemaic rulers' dual identity. They performed rites practiced for millennia. These temples symbolize the Ptolemaic synthesis. The Ptolemaic Kingdom's military was a formidable force, guaranteeing security and projecting influence. The army reflected the kingdom's Greco-Egyptian character. At its core was a professional standing army based on the Macedonian model. One fearsome element was its corps of war elephants. Expeditions captured and trained these beasts, used to break enemy formations. The psychological impact of armoured elephants was immense. The army relied on foreign mercenaries and a Greek ruling class. Before the Battle of Raphia, Ptolemy IV recruited native Egyptians. This empowered the Egyptian population, contributing to nationalist sentiment and revolts. The Ptolemaic Kingdom's dominance was due to its powerful and technologically advanced navy. Egypt, with its long Mediterranean coastline, was a natural maritime power. Their fleet was the largest and most sophisticated in the Mediterranean, allowing them to control the sea lanes. The Ptolemaic fleet was based in well-equipped harbours, with Alexandria as the main naval base. The ships themselves were marvels of Hellenistic engineering. These were fast, manoeuvrable warships designed for ramming. The Ptolemies were also famous for constructing gigantic polyremes, colossal warships. These behemoths were powerful tools of propaganda. It protected the vital shipping routes that brought immense wealth into the kingdom. It allowed the Ptolemies to maintain control over their overseas territories. In times of war, the fleet could transport troops and blockade enemy ports. The control of Cyprus in particular was crucial. This naval dominance was a key factor in the Syrian wars against the Seleucid Empire. The Ptolemaic navy allowed Egypt to support its allies and raid enemy coastlines. The Ptolemaic fleet was a clear signal of the kingdom's power. The Ptolemaic kingdom's power was built on the Nile's fertile land and a tightly controlled economy. The Ptolemies boosted agriculture with new crops and irrigation, making Egypt the breadbasket of the Mediterranean. Alexandria and Red Sea ports turned Egypt into a global trade hub, taxing exotic imports and exporting grain. The king monopolized key industries: papyrus, textiles, oil, brewing, mining, ensuring profits flowed straight to the royal treasury. Greek-speaking bureaucrats managed every detail, but this efficiency came at a cost: heavy taxes and labor demands on ordinary Egyptians. This wealth funded armies and monuments, but the system's inequalities would eventually fuel unrest. Under Ptolemy IV, weak leadership and corruption eroded the kingdom's stability. In a desperate move, native Egyptians were armed for the Battle of Raphia, winning the war but awakening their sense of power. Soon after, Upper Egypt erupted in rebellion, breaking away under native pharaohs for nearly 2 decades. The Ptolemies fought to regain control, draining resources and shattering unity. Even after the revolt ended, unrest and banditry plagued the countryside. The government, weakened and divided, struggled to maintain order. The once stable kingdom was now fractured, its foundations crumbling. As Egypt faltered, Rome's power surged across the Mediterranean. Seeking protection, Ptolemy V made Egypt a Roman client state, its independence now a mere illusion. Roman intervention repeatedly saved the dynasty, but at the cost of sovereignty. The infamous Day of Eleusis showed Rome's dominance. A Roman envoy forced a Seleucid king to withdraw from Egypt with a simple ultimatum. Ptolemaic rulers became pawns, their fate decided in the Roman Senate. Internal dynastic feuds played out for Roman amusement and advantage. As Rome descended into civil war, Egypt became a prize for ambitious generals like Caesar and Antony. The kingdom was no longer a player, but the board on which Rome's final struggles unfolded. Cleopatra VII, the last Ptolemy, was brilliant, ambitious, and determined to restore Egypt's glory. She allied with Julius Caesar, securing her throne and bearing him a son, Caesarion. After Caesar's death, she partnered with Mark Antony, ruling the East and dreaming of a new empire. Their alliance provoked Rome. Octavian declared war, painting Cleopatra as a dangerous foreign queen. At Actium, Antony and Cleopatra's forces were crushed. Facing defeat, they took their own lives as Octavian's legions closed in. With their deaths, the Ptolemaic dynasty ended and Egypt became a Roman province. The Ptolemies' rule ended, but their legacy endured. Their temples, Edfu Dendera Philae, preserved Egyptian art and religion. The Library of Alexandria made Egypt the intellectual heart of the ancient world, shaping science and philosophy for centuries. Greek and Egyptian cultures fused, influencing art and spreading the cult of Isis across the Roman Empire. Their administrative system, centralized, efficient and exploitative, became the model for Roman rule. Egypt remained the empire's breadbasket, its wealth and knowledge outliving the dynasty. The Ptolemies left a mark on history, carved in stone and memory. The Ptolemaic dynasty had strange traditions, most notably royal sibling marriage. Beginning with Ptolemy II and his sister Arsinoe II, many Ptolemaic kings married their sisters, imitating the divine marriages in Egyptian mythology. This reinforced the dynasty's status and kept power within the family. Another peculiar aspect was the repetitive use of names like Ptolemy, Cleopatra, or Berenice. Historians use epithets to distinguish them, like Ptolemy II Philadelphus or Ptolemy VIII Euergetes II, nicknamed Potbelly. The Ptolemies also maintained a unique core of war elephants, sourcing smaller African forest elephants. These elephants became a symbol of Ptolemaic power. With Cleopatra's death in 30 BC, Egypt was annexed by Octavian, soon to be Emperor Augustus. The transformation was immediate. Egypt became the Roman emperor's personal property. Its wealth flowed directly into his treasury. Egypt was the empire's breadbasket, its resources under absolute control. Culturally, the Roman era saw a continuation of the Greco-Egyptian synthesis. Mummy portraits flourished, combining Egyptian mummification with Greco-Roman portraiture. Roman emperors were depicted as pharaohs in temples. Egypt's primary role became economic, to produce grain to feed Rome. The land of the pharaohs was now a cog in the machine of Roman power. Our journey through the history of the Ptolemaic Kingdom has taken us from its founder, Ptolemy I Soter, to its last queen, Cleopatra VII. For 3 centuries, this Macedonian Greek dynasty ruled over Egypt, presiding over a period of immense wealth and cultural fusion. They built a kingdom that was both a formidable military power and a beacon of Hellenistic civilization. The Ptolemaic pharaohs presented themselves as legitimate successors to Egypt's ancient rulers. Yet the seeds of decay were sown within the dynasty itself, through weak rulers and family rivalries. This internal weakness made the Ptolemaic state vulnerable to the rising power of Rome. With Cleopatra's death, the line of the Ptolemies was extinguished. The last chapter of ancient Egypt had been written by a Greek dynasty. The Ptolemaic Kingdom stands as one of history's most compelling experiments in syncretism. The Ptolemies engaged with Egyptian culture, fusing it with their own traditions, visible in their art and religion. The kingdom represents a bridge between Greece and the Near East. The intellectual fire lit in Ptolemaic Alexandria continues to cast a long shadow. It is a tale filled with larger-than-life characters from Ptolemy I to Cleopatra VII. The physical remains of their rule draw millions of visitors. It shows how cultures can collide and merge, creating new identities. Their story continues to fascinate us to this day. Ancient Egypt, a civilization that has fascinated historians, archaeologists, and the general public for centuries. The land of pharaohs and pyramids, a place where the sands of time have preserved the grandeur of a bygone era, a place full of mystery and wonder. The ancient ruins whisper tales of gods and kings, of life and death. But behind the giant monuments and strange hieroglyphs, ancient Egypt had a vibrant musical tradition. Music was an integral part of their daily lives. Music was everywhere in this ancient civilization, from simple homes to grand temples. It was a universal language that transcended social classes. Imagine the sun rising over the Nile River, shining on the fields, the gentle hum of the river, the rustling of the reeds, and the distant sound of a flute. Farmers work in their fields, singing ancient songs. These songs were not just for entertainment. They were a way to pass down stories and traditions. In the busy marketplace, musicians play happy tunes, and their music mixes with the sounds of people buying and selling. The marketplace was a hub of activity, and music added to its vibrancy. Inside the temples, priests performed rituals, singing hymns and playing sacred instruments. These rituals were believed to connect them with the divine. Music wasn't just art in ancient Egypt, it was a big part of their lives. It was woven into the fabric of their society. It showed their happiness and sadness, their beliefs and hopes. Music was a reflection of their emotions and their world-view. It connected them to their gods and celebrated life and death. Music was a bridge between the mortal and the divine. Join us as we travel back in time to explore the music of ancient Egypt. We'll delve into the sounds that echoed through the temples and marketplaces. We'll discover their instruments and learn about their musical traditions. From the simple reed flutes to the elaborate harps, each instrument had its own story. This picture shows us the musical culture of ancient Egypt. The wall paintings are a testament to the importance of music in their society. We see musicians playing harps, their fingers deftly plucking the strings to create melodies that have been lost to time. Flutes, their breath giving life to the music, and drums, the heartbeat of their songs. They look skilled and passionate. Their expressions show a deep connection to their craft. This scene reminds us that music was important to them. It was present in their celebrations, their rituals, and their daily lives. It brought them joy, comfort, and a connection to their gods. Music was the soul of ancient Egypt, a timeless echo of a civilization that continues to captivate us. Music wasn't just for rich people or religious ceremonies in ancient Egypt. Everyone enjoyed music. It was a universal language that transcended social classes and was deeply embedded in the fabric of their daily lives. From the grand palaces of the pharaohs to the humble homes of the common folk, Music resonated through the air, bringing joy and solace to all who heard it. It was part of everyday life and all kinds of activities. Whether people were working, relaxing, or celebrating, music was always present. It was as essential to their lives as the Nile River, providing a rhythm to their daily routines and marking the passage of time with its melodies. From working in the fields to celebrating at festivals, music was always there. Farmers would sing as they sowed and harvested their crops, their songs echoing across the fertile lands. These melodies not only made the hard work more bearable, but also synchronized their efforts, making the labor more efficient and harmonious. Think about the hard work of building the pyramids, those huge monuments that we still marvel at today. The construction of these colossal structures required immense physical effort and coordination. Music played a crucial role in this process, helping to maintain the workers' morale and keep them in sync. The work was tough, but the workers sang together. Their voices, rising in unison, created a powerful sense of camaraderie and shared purpose. These songs were not just about passing the time, they were a vital part of the work itself, providing a steady rhythm for the labourers to follow. Their voices, rising and falling, gave them a sense of unity and purpose. The melodies and rhythms helped to coordinate their movements, ensuring that each stone was placed with precision and care. This musical collaboration was a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of the ancient Egyptians. These work songs, passed down from parents to children, helped them work together and kept them going. They were a living tradition, a way of preserving the knowledge and skills of previous generations. Through these songs, the wisdom of the past was carried forward, ensuring that each new generation was equipped to face the challenges of their time. In the busy marketplaces where people sold things and met friends, music created a lively atmosphere. The sounds of merchants calling out their wares, the chatter of customers and the melodies of street musicians blended together to create a vibrant and dynamic soundscape. Musicians, both good and not so good, played their instruments, filling the air with music that attracted crowds. These performers were an integral part of the market experience, drawing people in with their tunes and adding to the overall energy and excitement of the place. Drums, flutes and harps all played together, making the marketplace a fun and exciting place. Each instrument added its own unique flavour to the mix, creating a rich tapestry of sound that reflected the diversity and creativity of ancient Egyptian culture. Festivals and celebrations always had music in ancient Egypt. These events were a time for the community to come together, to celebrate their achievements and to honour their gods. Music was at the heart of these gatherings, providing a soundtrack for the festivities and enhancing the sense of joy and togetherness. These happy events, often celebrating the harvest or honouring their gods, were full of music and dancing. The rhythms of the drums and the melodies of the flute set the pace for the dancers, who moved with grace and exuberance. These celebrations were a testament to the vitality and spirit of the ancient Egyptians. Imagine a festival for Hathor, the goddess of love, music and joy. The streets would be filled with people, all dressed in their finest clothes, ready to celebrate and give thanks. The air would be alive with the sounds of music and laughter as people danced and sang in honour of the goddess. The air would be filled with the smell of incense, and the streets would be crowded with people in colourful clothes, dancing to the music. The vibrant colours and the joyful sounds created an atmosphere of celebration and reverence, a perfect reflection of the ancient Egyptians' love for life and their deep connection to their gods. Whether it was the singing of workers, the music in the marketplace, or the happy melodies of festivals, music was always with the ancient Egyptians. It was a constant presence, a source of comfort and joy that accompanied them through all the ups and downs of life. It comforted them when times were hard, made their happy times even better, and connected them to the world around them. Music was a bridge between the human and the divine, a way of expressing their deepest emotions and their highest aspirations. This picture from a tomb shows us a party, in ancient Egypt. The scene is filled with life and energy, capturing a moment of joy and celebration that has been preserved for thousands of years. We see musicians entertaining guests. Their presence at the party highlights the importance of music in social gatherings, providing entertainment and enhancing the overall experience for everyone involved. The details of their instruments, how they sit, and even their faces show us how important music was to their parties. These images give us a glimpse into the past, revealing the central role that music played in the lives of the ancient Egyptians, from the grandest festivals to the most intimate gatherings. Ancient Egyptians didn't just see music as entertainment, it was woven into the very fabric of their daily lives and spiritual practices. It was very important to their religion, serving as a bridge between the mortal and the divine. They believed music connected them to their gods, creating a sacred soundscape that facilitated communication with the divine. They even believed some gods created music, attributing the origins of melodies and rhythms to divine inspiration. Hathor, the cow goddess, was connected to music, dance, and joy. She was often depicted with a sistrum, a musical instrument that symbolized her role as a goddess of music. They believed her music was magical and could make both gods and people happy, bringing joy and harmony to the world. Bes, the dwarf god, often shown with a mask and a musical instrument, protected homes and was a patron of music and dance. His presence was believed to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. These gods show us how important music was to their religion, as it was intertwined with their beliefs and daily practices. Temples were filled with music, especially during religious ceremonies. The sound of instruments and chanting created an atmosphere of reverence and devotion. Priests, who were often skilled musicians, played music to honor the gods, ask for their help, and keep them happy. Their musical performances were seen as offerings, a way to gain favor and ensure the gods' blessings. The sistrum, a kind of rattle, was often played by goddesses. Its distinctive sound was believed to have protective qualities. They believed its shaking sound kept away evil and brought divine protection, creating a sacred space free from negative influences. Playing music was a sacred duty, a way to talk to the gods and keep the world in balance. It was an essential part of their religious rituals and ceremonies. Musicians, especially those in temples, were important people. They were highly respected and their skills were considered divine gifts. Their skills were seen as gifts from the gods, and their music was a way to honor these divine gifts. Their music wasn't just entertainment, it was a way to pray and offer gifts to the heavens. Each note and rhythm was a form of worship, a way to connect with the divine. The importance of music in ancient Egyptian religion reminds us of the power of music. It was a tool for spiritual connection, a means to express faith, and a way to find comfort in the mysteries of life. It can connect us to something bigger than ourselves, transcending the mundane and touching the divine. Their beliefs, though different from ours, show us how music has always been used to express faith, find comfort, and celebrate the mysteries of the universe. The melodies and rhythms of ancient Egypt continue to echo through time, reminding us of the timeless connection between music and spirituality. This beautiful sistrum, with its carvings and sacred pictures, shows us how much they respected their instruments. Each instrument was not just a tool, but a sacred object imbued with spiritual significance. The shaking of this instrument inside a temple would have created a feeling of awe and reverence, connecting people to their gods. The sound resonated through the sacred halls, a reminder of the divine presence in their lives. The sands of Egypt hold more than just ancient ruins and buried treasure. They whisper stories of a civilization that thrived for millennia. Journey with us now as we peel back the layers of time and uncover the culinary world of the ancient Egyptians. Imagine the Nile River, a glistening ribbon of life meandering through the desert. Its fertile banks gave birth to a civilization that would become a beacon of art, architecture and culture. The food of ancient Egypt wasn't merely sustenance. It was a reflection of their beliefs, their social structure and their deep connection to the land. Through their cuisine, we can catch a glimpse of their world. Their culinary legacy, much like their towering pyramids, stands as a testament to their ingenuity and sophistication. They transformed simple ingredients, gifted to them by the Nile, into dishes both practical and indulgent. They understood the art of flavour, the delicate dance of herbs and spices, and the importance of preserving food in a land where the sun blazed relentlessly. It's time to uncover the secrets of their kitchens, explore the ingredients that graced their tables, and discover the flavours that tantalized their palates. Join us as we embark on a culinary adventure through time. Prepare to be transported back in time to a world where food was more than just sustenance. It was a celebration of life itself. The Nile River, often referred to as the father of life by the ancient Egyptians, was much more than a waterway. It was the lifeblood of the civilization, its ebb and flow dictating the rhythm of their lives. Wheat, barley and emmer, these grains, nurtured by the Nile's annual floods, were the staples of their daily bread. Bread, in its various forms, was the cornerstone of their meals, a testament to the land's generosity. Lentils, chickpeas and fava beans, these protein-rich legumes, added variety and sustenance to their diet. The ancient Egyptians were masters of cultivating the land, coaxing life from the desert with their intricate irrigation systems. Their agricultural prowess ensured a steady supply of these essential crops, forming the foundation of a cuisine that was as diverse as it was nourishing. Onions, garlic and leeks, these pungent bulbs, added depth and complexity to their dishes. Lettuce, cucumbers and radishes, these refreshing vegetables, provided a welcome respite from the desert heat. Dates, figs and pomegranates, these sweet treats, offered a burst of natural sugar and were enjoyed fresh or dried. The Nile Valley, with its fertile soil and predictable floods, provided the ancient Egyptians with a rich tapestry of flavours. They embraced the land's offerings, incorporating a variety of vegetables and fruits into their diet, creating a cuisine that was both flavourful and nutritious. Fish, abundant in the Nile, was a staple protein source, particularly for those living near the river. Fish was often dried, salted or smoked, preserving it for leaner times. Fowls such as ducks, geese and pigeons were also a part of their diet. Meat from cattle, sheep and goats was a more luxurious food, reserved for special occasions or the elite. The ancient Egyptians were skilled hunters and fishermen, supplementing their plant-based diet with protein from the Nile and the surrounding land. From the humble fisherman to the wealthy landowner, protein sources varied, reflecting the social hierarchy of the time. Imagine the aroma of roasted meat filling the air during a feast, a symbol of wealth and prosperity. While the common people of Egypt relied on the Nile's bounty for their sustenance, the pharaohs and the elite enjoyed a lavish and diverse diet. For the pharaohs, food was not merely fuel. It was a symbol of their status, power, and divine right to rule. Spices like cumin, coriander and saffron imported from distant lands infused their dishes with exotic aromas and tastes. Honey, a symbol of wealth and luxury, was used liberally to sweeten their food and drinks. The pharaohs dined on delicacies that were beyond the reach of ordinary Egyptians. Their tables boasted roasted gazelle, wild duck, and even ostrich, hunted in the distant deserts and brought back to the palace as a testament to their power. Wine, a symbol of celebration and abundance, flowed freely at these lavish banquets. Sweets, made with honey, dates and figs, provided a sweet ending to their extravagant meals. The pharaohs' meals were a far cry from the simple fare of their subjects. Their diets were a reflection of their wealth, power, and access to resources that were beyond the reach of ordinary Egyptians. The pharaoh, considered a living god, had access to the most exclusive and luxurious foods, a diet designed to reflect his divine status. His meals were prepared by a dedicated team of cooks who adhered to strict rituals and guidelines to ensure their purity and quality. While the pharaohs and the elite indulged in lavish feasts, the lives of ordinary Egyptians revolved around a more modest but no less flavorful culinary tradition. Imagine bustling marketplaces, filled with the sights, sounds and smells of daily life, where farmers brought their produce, fishermen their catch, and bakers their freshly baked bread. The common people, while not privy to the exotic ingredients that graced the pharaoh's tables, possessed a deep understanding of how to transform simple, locally sourced ingredients into satisfying and flavorful meals. They understood the art of preserving food, drying fish and meats in the scorching desert sun, pickling vegetables in vinegar and salt, ensuring that nothing went to waste. Their meals were a celebration of the Nile's bounty, a testament to their resilience and their ability to adapt to the challenges of their environment. The ancient Egyptians, masters of agriculture, cultivated a dazzling array of fruits that thrived in the fertile Nile Valley. Dates, with their sticky sweetness and chewy texture, were a staple food, a source of natural sugar and energy. Dates were enjoyed fresh, dried, used to sweeten cakes and breads, or even fermented into a mildly alcoholic beverage. Figs, plump and bursting with juicy sweetness, were another beloved fruit. Figs were eaten fresh, dried into chewy treats, or used to make jams and preserves. Pomegranates, with their jewel-toned seeds and tart, refreshing flavour, were highly prized. Pomegranates were enjoyed fresh, their juice used to make refreshing drinks, or their seeds sprinkled over salads and desserts for a touch of colour and tang. Grapes, cultivated in vineyards that stretched along the Nile Delta, were a symbol of abundance and celebration. Grapes were enjoyed fresh, dried into raisins, or most famously fermented into wine, a beverage enjoyed by both the living and the dead. Watermelons, with their juicy, refreshing flesh, provided a welcome respite from the desert heat. Watermelons were enjoyed fresh, their juice quenching thirst and providing much-needed hydration under the scorching sun. These fruits, gifts of the fertile Nile Valley, were more than just food to the ancient Egyptians. They were symbols of life, abundance, and the generosity of the gods. They were woven into the fabric of their daily lives, their flavours enjoyed by pharaohs and peasants alike. Fishermen skilled in the art of netting and trapping would cast their nets into the Nile's waters, hauling in a variety of fish from small perch to large Nile perch, their silver scales glinting in the sun. Fish, a valuable source of protein, was prepared in a variety of ways. It was grilled over open fires, baked in clay ovens, dried in the sun, or salted and preserved for leaner times. While fish was a staple for many, meat was a more luxurious food, reserved for special occasions or for those who could afford it. Cattle, sheep and goats, domesticated animals that grazed on the fertile land along the Nile, provided a source of meat, milk and hides. Hunting, while not as prevalent as fishing or animal husbandry, also played a role in providing meat for the Egyptian table. Honey, often referred to as liquid gold by the ancient Egyptians, was far more than just a sweetener. It was a symbol of purity, a gift from the gods and a prized ingredient in their culinary repertoire. Honey was used to sweeten cakes, pastries and desserts, adding a touch of luxury to their otherwise simple fare. But honey's role in ancient Egyptian cuisine extended far beyond sweetening. It was used as a glaze for roasted meats, its sweetness caramelizing over the fire, creating a rich, flavorful crust. Honey was also used as a preservative, its antibacterial properties extending the shelf life of fruits, vegetables, and even meats. The ancient Egyptians, renowned for their trade networks that spanned the ancient world, had access to a treasure trove of spices, each one adding its unique flavor and aroma to their cuisine. Imagine caravans laden with exotic spices arriving from distant lands, their arrival a cause for celebration in the bustling marketplaces of ancient Egypt. Cumin, with its warm, earthy flavor, was a staple spice used generously in stews, soups and roasted meats. Imagine the comforting aroma of cumin seeds toasted in a clay pot, their essential oils released, filling the air with their warm, inviting scent. Coriander, with its citrusy, slightly sweet flavor, was another favorite, used to add a refreshing note to dishes. Imagine the delicate green leaves of the coriander plant, chopped finely and sprinkled over salads, stews and even desserts. Their fresh, vibrant flavor a welcome contrast to the richness of many Egyptian dishes. Fennel, with its licorice-like flavor, was used to add a subtle aniseed note to dishes, particularly those featuring fish or seafood. Imagine the delicate fronds of the fennel bulb, used to infuse broths and stews with their unique flavor, adding a layer of complexity to the overall taste. The ancient Egyptians were remarkably innovative in their culinary practices. They developed techniques for preserving food and brewing beverages. Fermentation was well understood by the ancient Egyptians. They used it to create beer, a staple drink. Bread making involved sourdough starter, giving bread its tangy flavor. They also created sweets using honey, dates, figs and nuts. These innovations left an indelible mark on the world of food and drink. Our journey through the kitchens and fields of ancient Egypt draws to a close, leaving us with a profound appreciation for a civilization that understood the art of sustenance and celebration. We've explored the bounty of the Nile, from its humble grains to its succulent fruits, witnessing how these simple ingredients were transformed into meals that nourished both body and soul. Imagine the echoes of laughter and conversation around a fire as families gathered to share their daily bread, the aroma of spices mingling with the smoke, creating a sensory experience that transcended time. Food wasn't merely fuel for the ancient Egyptians. It was a thread that wove together the fabric of their society, connecting them to the land, their gods, and each other. We've delved into the grand feasts of the pharaohs, where exotic delicacies and imported spices were a testament to their power and influence. Yet, even amidst such opulence, the essence of Egyptian cuisine remained rooted in the land's bounty, a reminder that even the most powerful rulers were ultimately dependent on the Nile's generosity. From the humblest farmer to the mighty pharaoh, food played a pivotal role in shaping the lives, beliefs, and traditions of this remarkable civilization. Their culinary legacy, much like their towering pyramids, stands as a testament to their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and deep-rooted connection to the natural world. As we bid farewell to the sights, smells, and tastes of ancient Egypt, let us carry with us a newfound appreciation for the simple yet profound act of sharing a meal. Their story reminds us that food is more than just sustenance. It's a celebration of life, a bridge across cultures and generations, and a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. The echoes of their culinary traditions can still be heard in the cuisines of modern Egypt and beyond, a testament to the enduring legacy of a civilization that understood the true meaning of a life well lived, one shared with loved ones, around a table laden with the fruits of the earth. Their story is a reminder that even as time marches on, the fundamental human need for nourishment and connection remains unchanged. So the next time you break bread with loved ones, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of the ancient Egyptians, whose culinary innovations continue to enrich our lives today. Their story, etched in stone and whispered by the desert winds, reminds us that even the grandest civilizations are built upon the simple foundation of a shared meal. The land of Punt was a mysterious and fabled place. It held great importance for the ancient Egyptians. Punt was renowned for its abundant riches and exotic goods. Our primary knowledge of this distant land comes from ancient Egyptian sources. These records describe Punt as a source of valuable materials. Egyptians revered Punt and actively sought trade with its people. The precise nature of Punt itself, beyond its valuable resources, remains somewhat elusive to modern historians. Nevertheless, Egyptians wrote about this special land for many centuries, indicating its enduring significance in their worldview and economy. References to Punt span a remarkably long period in Egyptian history. They appear from the Old Kingdom around 2500 BCE right through to the late period, after 700 BCE. This long history demonstrates a sustained and significant relationship between Egypt and Punt. The earliest accounts of Punt are somewhat general. However, later records, particularly from the New Kingdom, become much more detailed and illustrative. This extended period of interaction highlights Punt's consistent importance to the Egyptian state. Punt held a position of immense importance in ancient Egypt's network of trade. This was primarily because Punt supplied a variety of valuable goods that Egypt could not easily produce domestically. Many of these items were essential for important religious rituals. They also served as potent symbols of wealth, status, and royal power. Punt was perceived by the Egyptians as a distant land of plenty, almost legendary in its richness. Its diverse resources were highly coveted by the Egyptian elite, especially the pharaohs and high officials. The rulers of Egypt took considerable pride in their ability to acquire these exotic items from such a remote location. Beyond the acquisition of physical goods, successful trade with Punt brought considerable prestige to Egypt. It served as a clear demonstration of the pharaoh's power, influence, and divine backing. Gold was one of the most precious commodities that Egypt sought from the land of Punt. In ancient Egyptian culture, gold held profound symbolic meaning. It was considered to be the very flesh of the gods. Gold symbolized eternity, indestructibility, and divine power. Punt was recognized as one of the important sources for this highly prized metal. Egyptian goldsmiths were exceptionally skilled artisans. They transformed raw gold into stunning jewelry, intricate death masks for pharaohs, and sacred cult objects for temples. The regular influx of gold from Punt would have significantly supported these elaborate crafts. It also substantially added to the royal treasury, bolstering the economic power of the Egyptian state. The uses of gold in ancient Egypt were widespread and deeply integrated into expressions of power and piety. Royal tombs, such as the famous tomb of Tutankhamun, were lavishly filled with golden artifacts. These items were intended to accompany the deceased pharaoh into the afterlife. Temples dedicated to the gods were often adorned with gold leaf and electrum. Egypt, dominated by desert and the Nile Valley, had few native sources of high-quality timber. Fine woods like ebony were highly prized imports from Punt. Artisans crafted luxurious furniture and intricate inlays from ebony. Ivory, sourced from elephant tusks, was another sought-after material. Talented artisans carved ivory into beautiful designs. One of the most enduring mysteries surrounding the land of Punt is its exact geographical location. Despite numerous Egyptian texts and depictions referencing Punt, its precise whereabouts remain unknown to this day. This question has been the subject of intense scholarly debate for well over a century. The ancient Egyptian records provide many valuable clues, such as lists of trade goods and depictions of the Puntites and their environment. However, these records do not include any precise maps or geographical coordinates as we understand them. This uncertainty significantly adds to Punt's mystique and allure. Discovering the definitive location of Punt would represent a major archaeological breakthrough. The ongoing search continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists worldwide. Many scholars currently favour a location for Punt in the Horn of Africa. This broad region includes parts of modern-day Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and the eastern highlands of Ethiopia. The types of goods consistently exported from Punt, as listed in Egyptian records, strongly support this theory. Scholars have explored links between Punt and biblical lands like Ophir. Ophir is described in the Bible as a source of immense wealth. King Solomon received gold and precious items from Ophir. The exact location of Ophir remains debated among scholars. This makes any direct link between Punt and Ophir speculative. The ancient Egyptians primarily travelled to the land of Punt by sea. Most expeditions involved carefully planned maritime voyages. Ships would depart from Egyptian ports on the Red Sea coast and sail southwards. This was a challenging and often perilous journey for ancient mariners. They needed robust, seaworthy ships and highly skilled sailors who understood the winds and currents of the Red Sea. The Egyptians developed important Red Sea ports, such as Wadi el-Jarf in the Old Kingdom and later Mersa Gawasis during the Middle Kingdom. These ports served as crucial departure and arrival points for the Punt expeditions. Depending on Punt's precise location and the specific route taken, some overland travel might also have been involved at the final stages of the journey. The logistics and challenges of these expeditions to Punt were considerable. Queen Hatshepsut's expedition to the land of Punt stands as one of the most famous and well-documented trading ventures in ancient history. This remarkable voyage took place around the year 1493 BCE during the prosperous 18th dynasty of Egypt's new kingdom. Hatshepsut was one of ancient Egypt's most powerful and successful female pharaohs. The expedition to Punt was a major highlight and significant achievement of her long and influential reign. She ensured that this grand undertaking was commemorated in extraordinary detail. These detailed records have provided invaluable information for historians studying ancient trade, shipbuilding and international relations. Her motivations for launching such an ambitious expedition were likely a combination of economic, religious and political factors. The most detailed account of Hatshepsut's Punt expedition is found at her magnificent mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri, located on the west bank of the Nile at Thebes. The walls of this temple are adorned with extensive and beautifully carved reliefs, accompanied by hieroglyphic inscriptions. The ancient Egyptians often referred to the land of Punt by a special and evocative name, Tanecha. This ancient Egyptian phrase is generally translated as land of the god or God's land. This particular designation strongly suggests that Punt held a profound and special religious significance for the Egyptians. It was clearly perceived as much more than just a source of material wealth and exotic commodities. Punt was viewed as a sacred, pure, and perhaps even primordial place. This elevated Punt above the status of ordinary foreign lands in the Egyptian worldview. It imbued the distant land with a distinct mystical quality and a sense of divine connection. This name itself reflects the deep reverence they held for Punt. There are several reasons why the Egyptians may have called Punt Tanecha. Punt's influence extended far beyond trade, permeating Egyptian art and religion. It was depicted as a land of abundance and beauty. Wall carvings showcased Punt's rich resources and exotic allure. Art celebrated Punt as a utopian paradise. Religiously, Punt was God's land, a sacred place. Expeditions to Punt were sacred pilgrimages. Queen Hatshepsut's journey exemplified its significance. Her expedition was documented in Deir el-Bahari. The return brought goods and tales of divine favour. Punt's legacy echoes through Egyptian mythology and identity. Despite Punt's prominent role in ancient Egyptian society, its exact location remains one of history's enduring mysteries. Scholars and historians have long debated where this enigmatic land might have been situated. Various theories suggest locations ranging from the Horn of Africa to the Arabian Peninsula. Recent archaeological findings and modern research have provided new insights into this ancient puzzle. Discoveries of ancient Egyptian inscriptions and depictions of Puntite flora and fauna have pointed to regions along the Red Sea coast. Some scholars argue that Punt could be located in present-day Eritrea or Somalia. Analysis of ancient resin samples found in Egyptian tombs supports this theory. These resins match the botanical characteristics of trees native to the Horn of Africa. This has led many to support the theory that Punt was indeed located in this region. Recent underwater archaeological missions have uncovered remnants of ancient shipwrecks along the Red Sea. These findings suggest established maritime routes between Egypt and the Puntite lands. The debate, however, is far from settled. Some historians propose that Punt could have been a network of trade hubs rather than a single location. This theory aligns with the diverse array of products sourced from Punt, including gold, incense, ebony, and exotic animals. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding the true nature of this ancient land. The quest to pinpoint Punt's location is a testament to the enduring fascination and curiosity that this legendary land inspires in modern scholars and historians. The search for Punt is not just about finding a place on the map, it is about connecting the dots of history and piecing together the legacy of a civilization that once thrived on the exchanges between these distant lands. The story of Punt, much like the land itself, continues to captivate and intrigue, reminding us of the rich tapestry of human history waiting to be explored. Imagine sailing across the tranquil waters of Lake Nasser in southern Egypt, where the serene environment envelops you in a sense of timelessness. The sun bathes the landscape in a warm, golden light, casting long shadows and creating a mesmerizing play of colors on the water's surface. As you glide across the lake, a majestic sight emerges on the horizon, gradually revealing itself in the distance. A sandstone temple, its massive pylons reaching for the sky, stands as a testament to a bygone era, echoing the grandeur of ancient civilizations. This is the Temple of Kalabsha, a magnificent structure that has witnessed the ebb and flow of history for over 2 millennia, standing proudly by the lake. The Temple of Kalabsha, originally situated at Bab al-Kalabsha, was one of the largest and most impressive temples in Nubia, showcasing the architectural prowess of its builders. Nubia, an ancient region spanning southern Egypt and northern Sudan, was a land of rich history and vibrant culture, where the past and present intertwine. The Nubians, renowned for their strength and resilience, developed a unique civilization that interacted closely with their Egyptian neighbors, sharing and exchanging cultural and technological advancements. The Temple of Kalabsha stands as a powerful symbol of this dynamic relationship, embodying the rich tapestry of Nubian and Egyptian history. The Temple of Kalabsha was dedicated to Mandulis, the Nubian sun god. This magnificent structure stands as a testament to the rich cultural and religious heritage of ancient Nubia. Mandulis, often depicted as a falcon-headed man, represented power, protection and healing in Nubian belief. His image adorned many temples and monuments, symbolizing his importance in the daily lives of the Nubian people. He was a central figure in the Nubian pantheon, revered as a benevolent deity who brought light and life to the land. The sun, a vital element in Nubian culture, was seen as his divine manifestation. The temple at Kalabsha served as a place of worship and devotion, where offerings were made and rituals performed to honor this powerful god. Priests conducted ceremonies to ensure the favor of Mandulis, seeking his blessings for prosperity and health. The construction of the temple spanned several centuries, beginning during the Roman period in the reign of Emperor Augustus around 30 BC. This long construction period allowed for a blend of styles and influences. Over the years, subsequent rulers, including Roman emperors and Nubian kings, added their own contributions to the temple complex. Each ruler left their mark, enriching the temple's history and significance. This blend of architectural styles and artistic influences reflects the diverse cultural tapestry that shaped the history of Kalabsha. The temple stands as a symbol of the enduring legacy of Nubian and Roman collaboration. The Temple of Kalabsha, built with sandstone quarried from the surrounding desert, is a masterpiece of ancient architecture. Its massive pylons, adorned with intricate carvings, lead into a series of courtyards, halls and sanctuaries. The walls of the temple are covered with hieroglyphics and reliefs depicting scenes from Egyptian mythology, religious rituals and the lives of pharaohs. Within the temple's sacred chambers, priests perform daily rituals, offering prayers and sacrifices to appease the gods. The scent of incense filled the air as worshippers gathered in the courtyards, seeking the favor of Mandulis and other deities. The temple was not only a place of worship, but also a center of learning and culture, where scribes copied sacred texts and artists honed their skills. For centuries, the Temple of Kalabsha stood as a beacon of faith and culture, its massive structure seemingly impervious to the passage of time. However, in the 20th century, a modern marvel threatened its very existence: the construction of the Aswan High Dam, a monumental project aimed at controlling the flow of the Nile River and generating hydroelectric power, would create a vast reservoir behind it, Lake Nasser. The rising waters of Lake Nasser would submerge many ancient sites, including the Temple of Kalabsha. Recognizing the immense historical and cultural value of these monuments, the Egyptian government, in collaboration with UNESCO, launched an international campaign to save them from a watery grave. The international campaign to save the monuments of Nubia, launched in 1960, was an unprecedented undertaking. It was a call to action that resonated across the globe, drawing attention to the rich cultural heritage at risk of being lost forever. Archaeologists, engineers and experts from around the world joined forces in a race against time to document, dismantle and relocate threatened monuments. This collaborative effort showcased the power of international cooperation in preserving history. The Temple of Kalabsha, one of the largest and most significant structures at risk, became a focal point of this international effort. Its grandeur and historical importance made it a symbol of the campaign's success. The relocation process was a remarkable feat of engineering. It required innovative solutions and meticulous planning to ensure the temple's integrity was maintained throughout the move. First, the temple was meticulously documented, with every stone, carving and inscription carefully photographed and catalogued. This detailed record was crucial for the accurate reassembly of the temple at its new location. Then, the temple was carefully dismantled, with each block numbered and its original location recorded. This painstaking process ensured that the temple could be reconstructed exactly as it had stood for centuries. The disassembled blocks were then transported to a new site, higher ground that would remain above the waterline of Lake Nasser. This new location would protect the temple from the rising waters, preserving it for future generations to admire and study. After years of meticulous work, the Temple of Kalabsha was reassembled on a small island just south of the Aswan High Dam. This new location, carefully chosen to resemble the temple's original setting as much as possible, offered a safe haven for the ancient monument. Today the temple stands proudly on its island home, its sandstone walls glowing in the warm Egyptian sun. The relocation of the Temple of Kalabsha stands as a testament to the power of international cooperation and the importance of preserving our shared cultural heritage. It serves as a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, humanity can come together to protect the treasures of the past for future generations. In recognition of its outstanding universal value, the Temple of Kalabsha, along with other monuments relocated during the Nubian salvage campaign, was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1979. This prestigious designation recognizes the temple's significance as an exceptional example of ancient Nubian architecture and a testament to the rich cultural heritage of the region. The inscription of the Temple of Kalabsha on the World Heritage List highlights the importance of preserving cultural heritage for present and future generations. It serves as a reminder of the enduring power of the past to inspire, educate, and connect us to our shared human history. The Temple of Kalabsha offers a fascinating glimpse into the religious beliefs and practices of ancient Nubia. The temple's reliefs and inscriptions provide valuable insights into the worship of Mandulis, the Nubian sun god, and his role in the lives of the people. They also shed light on the interactions between the Nubian and Egyptian cultures, revealing a complex tapestry of shared traditions and unique beliefs. One intriguing feature of the Temple of Kalabsha is the presence of a small chapel dedicated to the worship of Augustus, the first Roman emperor. This chapel, built during the Roman period, reflects the influence of Roman rule in Nubia and the syncretic nature of religious beliefs in the ancient world. Today, the Temple of Kalabsha stands as a popular tourist destination, attracting visitors from around the world who come to marvel at its architectural grandeur and soak up its historical significance. As you explore the temple's courtyards and chambers, let your imagination transport you back in time to an era of pharaohs, gods, and ancient rituals. The Temple of Kalabsha is more than just a monument. It is a living testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity, resilience, and the timeless allure of the past. Its journey from its original location on the banks of the Nile to its new home on Lake Nasser serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving our shared cultural heritage for generations to come. Ancient Egypt, a land of pharaohs, pyramids, and powerful queens. Among them, Nefertari stands out. She was the great royal wife of Ramses II. Her name echoes through time. She is considered one of Egypt's most significant queens. Her reign marked a period of immense cultural and architectural flourishing. Her legacy is intertwined with her husband's. She played a prominent role in shaping ancient Egyptian history. Her story is one of power, beauty, and mystery. We will uncover the mysteries surrounding her origins, story, and we will examine the architectural marvels dedicated to her. Join us on this journey as we unravel the story of Nefertari, a story that continues to intrigue us centuries later. Nefertari, a name that evokes beauty, power and mystery in the ancient Egyptian language. Her name holds a profound meaning. It translates to beautiful companion, or perhaps more intriguingly, the most beautiful of them all. This name was not merely a title. It reflected Nefertari's captivating presence. It spoke to her elevated status as the great royal wife of Ramses II. Her name was carefully chosen. It was meant to convey her significance. It also highlighted her role in the royal court. The Egyptians believed in the power of names. They believed a name could influence a person's destiny. Nefertari's name, therefore, suggests a life destined for beauty, destined for influence, destined for greatness. Her name echoed through the halls of power. It served as a constant reminder of her enduring legacy. Nefertari's name wasn't simply symbolic. It was a reflection of her physical beauty. Ancient Egyptian art depicts her with striking features. She had large almond-shaped eyes. She had a serene, almost ethereal expression. Her images adorn the walls of her tomb in the Valley of the Queens. She is often depicted alongside Ramses II. These images show her grace, they show her elegance, they show her importance as the king's consort. The colours used in these depictions are significant. They were carefully chosen to enhance her beauty. She is often shown with dark, kohl-rimmed eyes. These images serve as a testament to Nefertari's captivating presence. They help us understand why her name became synonymous with beauty itself. Nefertari's name often appears alongside epithets. These epithets provide further insights into her character. One such epithet was beloved of Mut. Mut was a powerful goddess. She was associated with motherhood. She was associated with protection. She was also associated with kingship. This epithet suggests Nefertari enjoyed a special connection with this important deity. It implies she possessed qualities that were admired by the goddess. These qualities might have included grace, compassion, and wisdom. The epithet beloved of Mut also highlights Nefertari's religious piety. It emphasizes her role as a link between the pharaoh and the divine. This role was crucial in maintaining order. It also maintained prosperity within the kingdom. Nefertari's name continues to resonate thousands of years after her death. It has become synonymous with ancient Egyptian beauty, power, and intrigue. Her story, though shrouded in mystery, continues to fascinate historians and archaeologists. Her name graces museums around the world. It adorns books, documentaries, and countless works of art. Nefertari's legacy extends far beyond the confines of ancient Egypt. She has become a symbol of feminine power and grace. Her story serves as a reminder of the enduring allure of ancient Egypt. It reminds us of the powerful women who shaped this civilization. Nefertari's name will forever be etched in the annals of history. Nefertari's origins remain shrouded in mystery. Her parentage, a subject of much speculation, is unknown. No definitive records exist to shed light on her family background. This lack of information only adds to her enigmatic aura. The sands of time have obscured much of ancient Egyptian history. Royal records were sometimes incomplete or deliberately altered for political purposes. It's possible that Nefertari's lineage was intentionally erased, or perhaps the records were lost to the ravages of time. This absence of concrete evidence has fueled numerous theories and interpretations. Scholars have pored over fragmented inscriptions and monuments, searching for clues to her ancestry. Yet Nefertari's origins remain an unresolved puzzle. Despite the lack of definitive proof, certain theories hold more weight than others. Some scholars believe Nefertari came from a noble family. This theory is based on her elevated status and the grandeur of her tomb. It's unlikely that a woman of humble origins would have been bestowed with such honours. Her marriage to Ramses II further supports this notion. Ramses II, known for his ambition and desire to solidify his power, would have sought a wife of noble lineage, a wife who could enhance his own prestige and legitimacy. The opulence of her tomb suggests a woman of immense wealth and influence. While her exact lineage remains a mystery, the evidence suggests a woman born into privilege. A woman whose influence extended far beyond the confines of the royal palace. Adding to the intrigue, some scholars propose a connection between Nefertari and the previous ruling dynasty, the 18th dynasty. This theory centers around a possible familial link to Pharaoh I, Tutankhamun's successor. This theory stems from the discovery of a ring bearing A's cartouche in the tomb of Nefertari's eldest son, Amun-Hotep. While this doesn't confirm a direct lineage, it hints at a possible connection. Perhaps Nefertari was a distant relative of A or his wife. This potential link to the 18th dynasty is tantalizing. It suggests a lineage steeped in power, intrigue, and the legacy of some of Egypt's most renowned rulers. However, without concrete evidence, this theory remains speculative. It's a piece of the puzzle that may never be fully understood. Despite the lack of concrete answers, the mystery surrounding Nefertari's origins doesn't diminish her significance. Instead, it adds to her allure. She stands as a testament to the enduring power of ancient Egypt to captivate our imaginations. Her legacy extends beyond her lineage. She was a powerful queen, she was a devoted wife, she was a patron of the arts, she left an indelible mark on Egyptian history. The mystery of her origins only adds to the richness of her story. It reminds us that history is not always clear-cut. Deep in the heart of Nubia, on the banks of the Nile, stands a testament to love and devotion. Carved into the face of a mountain, the Temple of Abu Simbel is a marvel of ancient Egyptian architecture. It honors Ramses II and his great royal wife Nefertari. The smaller temple is dedicated to Nefertari and the goddess Hathor. This dedication highlights Nefertari's status and influence. The Temple of Abu Simbel is not just a religious monument. It's also a testament to Ramses II's deep affection for Nefertari. Inscriptions inside the temple declare his love for her in no uncertain terms. The colossal statues of Nefertari that grace the temple's facade are another indication of her importance. These statues, equal in size to those of Ramses II himself, depict her wearing the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. This signifies her status as queen and co-ruler alongside her husband. Inside the temple, the walls are adorned with vibrant paintings that depict scenes from Nefertari's life. These images offer a glimpse into the life of a queen who was both powerful and deeply loved. The Temple of Abu Simbel faced a significant threat in the 20th century. The construction of the Aswan High Dam put the entire complex at risk of being submerged beneath the rising waters of Lake Nasser. In a remarkable feat of engineering and international collaboration, UNESCO launched a campaign to save Abu Simbel. Between 1964 and 1968, the entire temple complex was carefully dismantled, moved block by block, and reconstructed on higher ground. This incredible undertaking ensured that future generations could continue to marvel at the splendor of Abu Simbel. Today, the Temple of Abu Simbel stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It attracts visitors from around the globe who come to witness its grandeur, its beauty, and the enduring love story it represents. In the Valley of the Queens lies a tomb as breathtaking as the queen it houses. This is the final resting place of Nefertari, the great royal wife of Ramses II. Unlike other tombs, Nefertari's remained relatively intact for centuries. It offers a rare glimpse into ancient Egyptian beliefs and rituals. The vibrant paintings bring the tomb to life. Every detail speaks of the high regard for Nefertari. It testifies to Ramses II's love and devotion. The paintings within Nefertari's tomb guide us through her journey into the afterlife. We see her being led by Anubis, the jackal-headed god of embalming, towards the Hall of Two Truths. Here, her heart would be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. If her heart was found to be pure, lighter than the feather, she would be granted access to the afterlife. She would then join Osiris, the god of the underworld, in eternal paradise. The paintings depict this moment of judgment with palpable tension and hope. Beyond the Hall of Two Truths, the tomb opens up into a series of chambers, each more elaborately decorated than the last. We see Nefertari making offerings to various deities, her piety and devotion evident in every gesture. These scenes aren't merely decorative. They were meant to magically provide Nefertari with everything she would need in the afterlife. Sadly, Nefertari's tomb, despite its grandeur, couldn't protect her remains from the passage of time and the hands of opportunistic robbers. Her mummy, though initially interred with a wealth of treasures, was disturbed in antiquity. Only fragments of her funerary goods were recovered when the tomb was rediscovered in 1904 by Italian archaeologist Ernesto Schiaparelli. Despite the loss and the ravages of time, the tomb of Nefertari remains a treasure trove of information for Egyptologists. The vibrant paintings, the hieroglyphic inscriptions, the layout of the tomb itself, all offer invaluable insights into ancient Egyptian funerary beliefs, religious practices, and artistic achievements. Nefertari's tomb has become a monument to her memory, a testament to the love of a king, the skill of ancient artisans, and the enduring fascination with ancient Egypt. Nefertari's story began in the mists of time, her origins lost to the sands of history. She emerged to become one of ancient Egypt's most celebrated queens. Her name, linked with beauty, grace and power, echoes through the millennia. As the great royal wife of Ramses II, she played a pivotal role in shaping his reign. The monuments dedicated to her, from Abu Simbel to her tomb in the Valley of the Queens, stand as testaments to the love and admiration she inspired. These structures offer us a glimpse into the opulence and grandeur of her time. Nefertari was a woman of substance. Her tomb inscriptions speak of her intelligence, compassion, and devotion. Nefertari's story reminds us that behind every great pharaoh stood an even greater queen. She challenged the traditional image of queens as passive figures. Her legacy continues to captivate us today. Her name graces museums and books, her image in art and culture. She remains an icon of ancient Egypt. Her story is a testament to love, devotion, and the human spirit. My love is unique. No one can rival her, for she is the most beautiful woman alive. Just by passing, she has stolen my heart. Deep within the heart of Egypt, the Nile River flows. It courses through a land of ancient wonders. On an island, amidst the flowing waters, stands a testament to a bygone era, the Philae temple. This architectural marvel, with its towering pylons and intricate carvings, has captivated travellers for centuries. The echoes of pharaohs whisper through its corridors. The grandeur of the Roman Empire left its mark. Today, the Philae temple stands as a beacon from the past. Its beauty and history continue to inspire awe. Join us now as we embark on a journey to uncover the secrets of the Philae temple. Philae, an island once believed to be the last place on earth to be touched by the rays of the setting sun. It was here, in this sacred space, that the ancient Egyptians built a temple. It was dedicated to Isis, the goddess of magic, motherhood and healing. The temple complex, a dazzling display of artistry and engineering, was a place of pilgrimage. People came from far and wide to seek the goddess's favour. They offered prayers and gifts. The air was thick with incense. The sound of chanting priests echoed through the halls. Philae was a sanctuary where the divine and mortal realms intertwined. The temple itself reflected the Egyptians' understanding of the cosmos. The story of Philae temple begins not with a single pharaoh, but with many. Over centuries, from the late period to the Ptolemaic Kingdom, they added their own mark to the island. Each addition was a testament to their devotion to Isis, a goddess deeply intertwined with the Egyptian belief in life, death and rebirth. The earlier structures were humble compared to the grand edifices of later years, yet they held a powerful significance. These were not merely buildings of stone, they were seen as the dwelling place of the divine. As each pharaoh ascended to power, they sought to honor Isis in grander and more elaborate ways. Massive pylons adorned with carvings depicting the pharaoh's victories and piety rose towards the heavens. At the heart of the Philae temple complex lay the sanctuary of Isis. This was the most sacred space within the temple. It was here that the cult statue of the goddess was kept. The sanctuary was a place of profound mystery. Only the pharaoh and a select few priests were allowed to enter its hallowed halls. Here, amidst flickering oil lamps and the scent of incense, they performed daily rituals to honor Isis. The walls of the sanctuary were adorned with intricate reliefs. These images told the story of Isis and Osiris, her husband, who had been murdered by their brother Set. Every inch of the Philae temple was a testament to the skill and artistry of the ancient Egyptian builders. They used simple tools, yet they created structures of astonishing size and complexity. The walls of the temple were adorned with thousands of hieroglyphs. These intricate symbols, carved into the stone with astonishing detail, told the stories of the gods, the pharaohs, and the Egyptian people. They served as a reminder of the temple's sacred purpose and provided a glimpse into the beliefs and values of a civilization long gone. Scholars painstakingly decipher the hieroglyphs, piecing together the story of the Philae temple. Each inscription is a window into the past, offering a glimpse into the hearts and minds of the ancient Egyptians. The Ptolemaic dynasty, descended from one of Alexander the Great's generals, embraced Egypt as their own. They recognized the power of tradition, the importance of maintaining the old ways to secure their rule. The Philae temple, already a place of significant religious and cultural importance, became a focal point for their patronage. Under the Ptolemies, the temple complex underwent a period of expansion and embellishment. New structures were added, each grander than the last. The Ptolemies sought to outdo their predecessors, to leave their own indelible mark on this sacred site. The temple became a symbol not just of religious devotion, but of royal power and prestige. The graceful columns and intricate floral motifs hinted at the influence of the Hellenic world, blending seamlessly with the existing Egyptian architecture. With the arrival of the Romans, Egypt entered a new chapter in its long history. Yet the reverence for Philae temple continued. The Romans, ever pragmatic, recognized the importance of respecting local customs and beliefs. The Roman emperors, keen to legitimize their rule in Egypt, continued the tradition of honoring Isis. They funded the construction of new buildings within the temple complex. The temple, already a testament to centuries of Egyptian faith, now bore witness to the might of Rome. The Roman presence at Philae is most evident in the Kiosk of Trajan. This grand structure, with its massive columns and open design, served as a ceremonial gateway to the temple. The Philae temple was more than just a place of worship for Isis. It was a microcosm of the religious syncretism that characterized Egypt during the Roman period. Here, Egyptian and Roman gods were worshipped side by side. Beliefs and practices intertwined, creating a rich and complex religious tapestry. One of the most striking examples of this religious fusion is the worship of Imhotep. Originally a mortal architect and physician during the Old Kingdom, Imhotep had been elevated to the status of a god of healing. At Philae, his cult thrived alongside that of Isis. The Philae temple, throughout its long history, served as a testament to the enduring power of faith. It was a place where cultures and beliefs intertwined, creating a unique and vibrant religious landscape. Philae Temple. More than just a collection of stones, it was and remains deeply intertwined with its environment. The ancient Egyptians saw the temple situated on its island as a microcosm of the cosmos. The Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, played a crucial role in the temple's symbolism and function. The annual floods, though destructive, were also seen as a time of renewal. They deposited fertile silt on the surrounding land, ensuring bountiful harvests. The temple, rising above the floodwaters, symbolized the triumph of order over chaos. The island itself, known as Philae in ancient times, was considered sacred. It was believed to be the burial place of Osiris, the god of the underworld and rebirth. For centuries, the Nile River nourished Philae Temple. Its waters carried stories of countless generations. Pilgrims came, drawn to the temple's beauty and power. The Nile was integral to the temple's rituals. Priests used its water for purification. They navigated its currents in small boats. The Nile's ebb and flow mirrored life's cycles. Philae Temple offered hope and solace. Time, as it often does, brought change to the Nile River and the Philae Temple. The construction of the Aswan Low Dam in the early 20th century altered the river's natural flow. The temple, once accustomed to the annual floods, now found itself partially submerged for much of the year. Recognizing the threat posed by the rising waters, UNESCO stepped in. They recognized the Philae Temple as a World Heritage Site. It was a place of outstanding universal value, a testament to human creativity and ingenuity. A daring and unprecedented rescue plan was devised. The temple would be dismantled block by numbered block and moved to higher ground. The first phase of the rescue project involved constructing a cofferdam around the island of Philae. This massive barrier, built to hold back the waters of the Nile, was a feat of engineering in itself. It had to be strong enough to withstand the pressure of millions of gallons of water, yet delicate enough to avoid damaging the very monument it was meant to protect. With the cofferdam in place, the painstaking work of dismantling the temple began. Each stone, some weighing as much as 20 tons, had to be carefully documented, numbered and removed. The stones, once separated, were transported by barge to their new home, a nearby island named Agilkia. This island, carefully chosen for its resemblance to Philae's original shape, would become the temple's new sanctuary. Agilkia, once a barren rock, was transformed into a mirror image of Philae. The temple, meticulously reassembled using the original stones, rose again in its full glory. The carvings, the columns, the sanctuaries, all were painstakingly restored, ensuring that the spirit of Philae lived on. The relocation of the Philae temple was not merely a triumph of engineering, it was a testament to the power of international collaboration. Today, the Philae temple stands on Agilkia Island as a beacon of resilience. The waters of the Nile, once threatening to consume it, now lap gently at its base, a constant reminder of the enduring power of human ingenuity. The ancient Egyptians were masters of symbolism, and the Philae temple is replete with hidden meanings. One fascinating aspect is the temple's alignment with the rising sun. During the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, The sun's rays would penetrate deep into the temple's inner sanctuaries, symbolically illuminating the statue of Isis. The acoustics of the Philae temple are another intriguing feature. The ancient architects designed the temple's halls and chambers to enhance sound. The chanting of priests, the music of sistrums and drums would have reverberated within these spaces, creating an immersive and ethereal soundscape. Even today, visitors to the Philae temple can experience echoes of this sonic past. The Philae temple, despite its grandeur, was never truly finished. The last pylon, intended to be the temple's crowning glory, was left incomplete. Legend has it that the workers, sensing the imminent arrival of the Romans, downed their tools and fled, leaving the pylon unfinished. Another tale speaks of a wise old stonemason who, entrusted with carving the final inscription on the pylon, had a vision. Knowing that his work would one day be submerged beneath the Nile, he chose to leave the pylon unfinished, a symbolic act of acceptance of the cyclical nature of time and fate. The unfinished pylon stands as a poignant reminder that even the grandest of human endeavours are subject to the whims of fate and the passage of time. The Philae temple, standing on its new island home, is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. It symbolises resilience, a monument to our need to create, believe and connect with something greater. For centuries, this sacred site witnessed the ebb and flow of civilizations. Pharaohs, Ptolemies, Romans each left their mark, adding to its storied history. Once threatened by the Nile, it now stands as a beacon of hope, preserving our cultural heritage. Philae's stories about the people who built, worshipped and found meaning within its walls. It's a tale of belief, time's cycle and the human spirit overcoming adversity. Let's travel back in time to meet the Nabataeans, a fascinating ancient civilization. They were an ancient people who lived in the deserts of the Middle East, thriving in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Imagine them becoming a powerful force between the 4th and 2nd centuries BC, known for their amazing trading skills and strategic acumen. They were like the experts of their time, controlling important trade routes that connected Arabia, Egypt and the Mediterranean, facilitating the exchange of goods and culture. Think of the valuable goods they transported: spices, incense and myrrh, items that were highly sought after and essential for various rituals and daily life. These goods were super popular in the ancient world, making the Nabataeans incredibly influential and wealthy. This trade made them very wealthy, allowing them to build impressive cities and monuments, the most famous being Petra, carved into the cliffs. The Nabataeans were also skilled negotiators, adept at keeping peace with different empires and ensuring the safety of their trade routes. This made them important players in the region's trade, acting as intermediaries between various cultures and economies. Even today, historians and archaeologists are fascinated by their legacy as desert traders, uncovering new insights into their sophisticated society and enduring influence. The beginnings of the Nabataeans are still a bit of a mystery. Their early history is shrouded in the sands of time, leaving much to the imagination and the diligent work of archaeologists. Scholars, who are like history detectives, believe they were a nomadic Arab people who journeyed from the Arabian Peninsula around the 6th century BC. These scholars piece together clues from ancient texts and artifacts to form a picture of the Nabataeans' early days. They settled in what we now know as Jordan, southern Syria, and northwestern Saudi Arabia. This region, with its rugged terrain and strategic location, became the heart of their civilization. Living in this tough desert environment shaped their culture, making them experts at saving water. The harsh conditions of the desert demanded ingenuity and resilience, qualities that the Nabataeans possessed in abundance. They came up with clever ways to collect and store water, which helped them thrive in this unforgiving landscape. Their advanced water management systems, including cisterns and rock-cut channels, were marvels of engineering. The name Nabataean might come from the Arabic word nabat, meaning to spring up or grow, which makes sense considering how they flourished in a dry environment. Their ability to adapt and grow in such a harsh climate is a testament to their resourcefulness. The Nabataeans left behind a rich cultural legacy, and their impact on the region is still visible today. From the majestic ruins of Petra to the ancient inscriptions that tell their story, the Nabataeans continue to captivate our imagination and inspire awe. The Nabataeans were known for their advanced and fair society. Unlike many ancient civilizations, they didn't believe in slavery. They believed in working together and sharing responsibility, valuing equality and fairness. The Nabataeans were ruled by a royal family, but their system wasn't like a monarchy where the king has absolute power. The king had advisors and a council to give him advice, which suggests a kind of democracy in their government. This focus on justice and collaboration made them successful, creating a strong sense of community. It helped them manage their trade networks and maintain stability for centuries. Their societal structure shows us their progressive values. The Nabataeans believed in many gods and goddesses, often connected to nature. They respected the power of the sun, mountains and water. Dushara, the god of the mountains, was their main god, and they also worshipped Alat, a goddess of fertility and prosperity. The Nabataeans included elements of other cultures in their religious practices, reflecting their interactions with different civilizations through trade. They considered certain places sacred, building impressive temples and high places for worship. These structures, often carved directly into sandstone cliffs, show off their amazing architectural skills. Their religious beliefs played a big part in their culture and art. The Nabataean Kingdom was in a very strategic location, nestled in the heart of the ancient world. They lived in a region that is now Jordan, southern Syria, and parts of Saudi Arabia, a vast and diverse landscape that offered both challenges and opportunities. Their territory included important trade routes, which were the lifeblood of their economy and culture. These routes crossed the Arabian Peninsula and connected to the Mediterranean Sea, facilitating the exchange of goods, ideas and cultures. This strategic location was really important for their economic success, allowing them to become a central hub in the ancient world. It allowed them to control the flow of goods between the East and the West, making them indispensable to traders and merchants. The Nabataeans were skilled diplomats, adept at negotiating and maintaining alliances. They maintained peaceful relationships with their neighbours, ensuring stability and prosperity within their borders. This allowed them to focus on trade and development, building a robust economy and sophisticated infrastructure. They built a network of impressive cities, with Petra being the crown jewel, showcasing their architectural prowess. These cities thrived as centres of commerce and culture, attracting people from all over the ancient world. Their ability to thrive in a challenging environment is a testament to their adaptability and ingenuity, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire to this day. The Nabataeans were masters of trade. They dominated the lucrative incense route. This route brought frankincense, myrrh and spices from southern Arabia to the Mediterranean. These commodities were highly prized in the ancient world. They were used in religious ceremonies, perfumes and medicines. The Nabataeans transported these goods across vast deserts using camel caravans. Their knowledge of the desert and its oases was unparalleled. They developed sophisticated systems for navigation and water conservation. This allowed them to cross vast distances and endure harsh conditions. Their control of the incense route brought them immense wealth and influence. They became key players in the ancient world's economy. The Nabataeans are perhaps best known for their capital city, Petra. This magnificent city, located in Jordan, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Petra is renowned for its awe-inspiring rock-cut architecture. The city is carved directly into towering sandstone cliffs. The most iconic structure in Petra is the treasury. This elaborate facade, carved into the cliff face, is a testament to the Nabataeans' architectural genius. It served as a royal tomb. Petra was more than just a city. It was a symbol of Nabataean wealth and power. It showcased their mastery of engineering and art. The Nabataeans lived in a complex geopolitical landscape. They interacted with powerful empires like the Ptolemies of Egypt and the Seleucids of Syria. The Nabataeans were skilled diplomats. They formed alliances and negotiated their independence. They successfully defended their territory against invasions. They demonstrated their military prowess. In 106 AD, the Roman Empire annexed the Nabataean Kingdom. Petra became part of the Roman province of Arabia Petrea. Despite Roman rule, the Nabataeans' cultural influence persisted. Their architectural style continued to flourish. The Nabataean kingdom may have fallen to the Romans. However, their legacy continues to resonate today. Their impressive architectural achievements, particularly Petra, continue to inspire awe and wonder. Their innovative water management systems are still studied by modern engineers. The Nabataeans made significant contributions to art, language, and culture. They developed a distinctive script. This script influenced the development of the Arabic alphabet. Their artistic motifs, blending Eastern and Western influences, reflect their cosmopolitan nature. The Nabataeans were a remarkable civilization. They thrived in a challenging environment. They built a prosperous kingdom on trade and innovation. Their story is a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. Their legacy continues to enrich our understanding of the ancient world.